Welcome everyone. Today I'm doing a Lancer guide to teach you guys how to Lancer in Tera. Since I've been playing this game for like years and stuff, I had a lot of experience, knowledge about the game, and being a Lancer for 2 years, I learned a lot, and I wish I would give some of what I actually learned to you guys. I've been like requested a lot for this, and finally I want to make one guide for you guys. So please, if there is some tips I missed or something, or you have some comments about if I said something wrong or like have different opinion, please type in a comment down. So let's get started. So since you start a Lancer from the beginning, from level 1 or whatever, you're gonna feel like it's actually slow and stuff. So this is how typical any MMO when you start is gonna be slow until you reach to the high end. You start like feeling the skills really faster. It depends on the glyphs, that whenever you get open the glyphs and stuff like the skills is going to be more faster to you and to everyone else. So what's Lancer in general? Lancer is like pure tank, a character that he can hold the boss to let the others DPS to damage from behind for maximum damage amount. So the Lancer is not really good on DPS, like average DPS compared to other tanks, but he also gives buffs and defense for a party. So this is what actually Lancer is. So who actually love to tank and not caring that much about damage and feeling like supportive defensive character, Lancer is the good choice. So we're gonna start right now to the main rotations and glyphs and skill advancements, etc. And then at the end we're gonna start talking about some hidden tips of the Lancer that a lot of people doesn't know. The main rotation for a Lancer, there is fillers and there is main skills. So the fillers, when you have the main skills in cooldown, you use it. The main thing to be a tank, doesn't matter if a Lancer or warrior or brawler or even Zerk tank, it's about like positioning. The most important thing, to position the boss in a good place to let the party feel free to DPS from behind. You need to keep following the boss to put the boss in a good place and to give the DPS more space to keep DPSing freely, not feeling like, you know, like you're not gonna hold the boss and keep like tanking in this area while you have a free area behind you, while your DPS like really in a tight area and keep DPSing the boss in this side. You should like try to rotate all the time to give him the free space to free DPS and to free like escape or iframe. Now we're gonna talk about the rotation. What's the main skills, not the main skills, and what the filler skills. The main skill, shield barrage and spring attack. Those the main skills, wall up, super leap, and shield bash and onslaught. Those the main skills for the Lancer to keep holding the boss while you're doing this rotation right. The fillers, of course, look down below and the combat attack, my filler attacks. Those like when you still have cooldown on your main attacks. We're gonna start step by step. Shield barrage and spring attack is the main ones. Spring attack, you cannot use it alone. Why? Because there is a chain skills. There is some skills you cannot use it and you only use it after the main one. So spring attack, you cannot use it. When you use it, it's gonna be really slow because it's not chained with shield barrage. So if you press it alone, you'll see how slow it is, right? So the first, when you start, is shield barrage 2 times and spring attack. When you have the buff and when you have low ping, you can do 1 shield barrage and 1 spring attack. So you can like use it this time by doing it really faster. So you can like immediately doing this, or you can do 2 times shield barrage and then spring attack, right? This is one of the first skills you have to start on. I follow with debilitate. Debilitate is a skill to give a debuff for the boss, to lower their armor, to make the DPSers to keep doing damage more on the boss. So you have to keep the debilitate on the boss. When you use it, you're not gonna feel that you did something, but you have to see the debuff under the boss bar, that there is a debuff on him. But be aware that this debuff sometimes doesn't count. So sometimes you press it, it doesn't reset, like it doesn't like bring it back to 30 seconds. So you have to keep pressing it until you make sure. So shield barrage, spring attack, debilitate, wall up, and then super leap. We're gonna talk about super leap. Super leap, it's a skill, you can use it to just reach one of the mobility skill to reach the boss really fast. If you are trying to dodge far away and to reach to the boss fast away, you can use it to jump really further to him. Wallop and super leap are chained together. So if you used super leap alone without wallop, you're gonna leap over the boss. So that's not really good for Lancer to do that, because you're gonna make the boss to turn to you, and you like it's gonna be like a mess. So wallop then super leap is gonna make you stable. You're not gonna be able to jump over the boss. You're gonna stay in front of the boss. You're not gonna jump over the boss. If you wanted to position yourself, you can use it by itself without wallop. But with the combo, when you are in front of the boss, wallop then super leap. So also you can use dash and super leap, right? So you can dash, super leap, that also chain. Rotation again. Shield barrage 2 times, spring attack. I can use lockdown below sometimes if there is a duplicate. Again, shield barrage 2 times, spring attack, duplicate, wallop and super leap. If you don't want to use duplicate and there is a debuff on the boss, you can use another rotation to add the filler lockdown below on it, because lockdown below has really good damage also. So you can use like 2 shield barrage, spring attack, lockdown below, wallop and then super leap. The second main one to use is the shield bash after the onslaught. Onslaught, one of the mobility also skills, same like rush. The rush one, the dash one, this one the dash. Onslaught, really high damage skill for a Lancer, but it's also chained with shield bash. Shield bash is a stun skill, but you have to use shield bash to make chained with onslaught to make it faster. So if you pressed onslaught alone, it's gonna react really slow. So you have to press shield bash then onslaught to react faster. So like shield bash, onslaught, and in that moment you are blockable. So every attack you're gonna have from the boss, you are blocking it. Same like wallop. You can see that. Same like super leap. It's a blockable skills. Same like onslaught. So that's, I use it after the combo of shield barrage, spring attack, duplicate, wallop and super leap. Then I start using shield bash and then onslaught. This is the whole rotation of the Lancer. This, you have 2 rotations, 2 main combos. You have to keep your DPS high. Is the one I showed you, like shield barrage, spring attack, duplicate, wallop and super leap. After you do shield bash, onslaught, and then your combo again start to coming back. When you start coming back, you can continue doing the same rotations, but without super leap, because super leap is gonna come the third rotation, third turn of the rotation, not the second one. So you can add the combo attack or the lockdown below and continue doing all the things. So now another thing we need to care about is the buff you have to get. By the passives here, there is a block buff, this one. So every time you block, any block, you will have a stack. Stack gives you aggro 8%, gives you power 8 and crit factor for 12. And that's, you can stack up to 5. It used to be 10, and they and all the stats, aggro, power and crit factor used to be half. So aggro it used to be 4%, power it used to be 4, and crit factor it used to be 6. And now they lower it and increased 100%. So 5 stacks, that's easier. That's a little bit buff, because you get like your buff really faster compared to blocking 10 times. So what you have to do by blocking, you will see here in the buff side that you start having the buff on. You have to keep the buff 5 stacks all the time by keep blocking. So all the time, keep the 5 stacks up all the time. That's one of the really important ones. After that, when you're blocking, you're gonna have a shield counter. Shield counter, one of the main high damage also. So when you shield counter, I press space. Space is the most important thing to react for the shield counter. So whenever you block, it's gonna tell you to press space so you can shield counter the boss. You can follow up that shield counter with a spring attack. So spring attack can be chained with shield barrage and shield counter. So you can like when you block and get the hit and press space for the shield counter, you can follow up with the spring attack. It's gonna react faster, of course. Now we're gonna talk about how to start the boss. So how you start. Some people, they start immediately by enraging the boss. And that's really, for me, in my opinion, that's totally wrong. Because when you start shouting first, challenging shout, and then enrage, I feel like I'm gonna stack up more aggro than enraging first. Because enraging, all your party is gonna use all the full combo, high damage, all the buffs they have to do damage on the boss. So when you enrage, you have less aggro amount to keep the boss. So when you start losing the aggro at the start, people gonna lose damage because they're gonna keep rotating to be behind. So how I start, I go to the boss, I give the adrenaline rush and the guardian shout. I start with them. I give adrenaline rush, guardian shout, I go to the boss, I shout, then I enrage. I start debilitate and wall up. Then I can start combo with whatever I have. You can do that. Like, there is so many ways to start the boss. I do debilitate to maximum damage for the party and then wall up after. So this is the whole combo to start up, and I'm pretty sure when you start up doing the same rotation at the start, you're not gonna lose aggro at all. Now we're gonna talk about some different skills. I'm gonna talk about that. You have the healing one. The healing one, it gives you also resolve. So when you are in a bad situation, you don't have resolve, and the boss, like, you know that you need to iframe and you need resolve. Either you get it by shield counter, by blocking and give him the counter back. That's gonna give you resolve. You by shouting also gives you resolve, and by healing yourself gives you also resolve. So there is a lot of ways to get resolve. So sometimes you miss the counter shield, sometimes you miss the shout. So you need a resolve really fast. I use it sometimes to heal myself, sometimes to get resolve. You have two different chains, both of them stuns, right? You have the leash one, the normal one, and you have the chain that you can chain a lot of mobs. We're gonna talk about this, the different chain later as a hidden skill. Rallying cry. Some people, they use it to keep aggro. I don't recommend to use it to keep aggro as much as you use it to be immune to get knocked down. It's a PvP more than PvE. Of course, the blue shield is the same Reinhardt in Overwatch. So the more damage you take, the more cooldown is gonna be like for you. So if you got really heavy damage, it's gonna be 6 minutes. If you got less damage, it's gonna be less cooldown. So we're gonna talk about the glyphs right now. So this is my main glyphs I use. Back then I used to do different glyphs, it depends on the dungeon. But now I'm not facing any dungeon that needs to change some certain skills. Now we're gonna talk about the advanced skills. I use like advanced skills, most of them for open world, PvP and PvE. So you can, I use this one, the third one, increase damage by the shield counter, okay, 30%. And I use the adrenaline rush, increase caster effects duration 25%. Now we're gonna talk about some hidden tips of the Lancer. So there is a shield cancellation. Any skill you use, by pressing the block, you cancel the animation of it. So when you use spring attack, for example, 1 minute, you can cancel it. One of the main important thing to cancel by blocking is the shout. Shout animation is too long. So when you shout, just immediately press the block to cancel it. So the same thing like the enrage. Now we're gonna talk about second hidden. The shout is immune by being stunned. So when you shout at the same time when the boss gonna stun you, you're not gonna be stunned. You're gonna get the damage, you're gonna lose health, but you're not gonna be stunned. The third one, it's gonna be damage from behind. How to maximum your damage while you are behind the boss. If there is a mechanic that you need to go behind the boss, like in Bahar, you need to go behind the boss to block the meteors to your party and stuff, but you also need to do damage as frontal damage because you are a frontal damage tank. How you do that? Let's say this whatever building is the boss and you are behind the boss. Like, you need to continue frontal damage to get the maximum damage as a Lancer, but you are behind the boss. What you gonna do? The thing you have to do is to turn your camera 45 degree, let's say, and continue damaging this way. Let's say this is the boss and you turn your camera this way and continue damaging. This is how you're gonna get frontal damage. When you are slowed, when you are in combat, you feel like slow. So you have to use block combat attack, block combat attack. It gives you more faster movements. The last one I'm gonna talk about is the chain. People call it Giga. Giga, use whatever. In some situations in dungeons, you like some of the dungeons, they give you a lot of mobs and you have to gather them all. You cannot use the chained leash only to gather them all. You have to shout to make sure all the mobs had the effect and then use the chained leash. The chained leash is gonna split on most of the mobs and gather them all at the same time. That's all for the rotations, glyphs, advanced skills, and hidden tips. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the gear. What's the most important thing to go for? So far, after I returned to Tera, now on testing and stuff, people saying crit power is the most important thing. The maximum damage so far now as a build, heroic, better than the new ones. For the maximum damage, you can go physical amplification, you can go physical crit power, and you can go physical resistance. They added a new buff passive that it turns the physical resistance to physical amplification. So whenever you increase physical resistance, it's gonna turn to physical amplification. So you can go physical amplification, focus on physical amplification, physical crit power, or physical resistance. I recommended maximum stats, of course, if you had a chance. And physical crit power and physical amplification is the most important thing, and then you can go for physical resistance. So I recommend go crystals full power. It depends on the dungeons, of course. Most of the time it's power for me full, but for example, kill sickness he got really high crit resistance, so you have to increase your crit more. So I switched to crit jewelries. The jewelries, I go 2 power, 2 crit, 2 power earrings, and 2 crit rings. So that's all. Like the inner is crit power. If you can go for crit power, it's gonna be awesome. Physical amplification is gonna be really nice. I still have the old inner, the crit one. So until I get the good one, I will use it. So that's all for you guys. If you really need more stuff, feel free to join my Discord. And feel free to join my Twitch that I stream every day except Friday. My Twitch is going to be down below in the description box. So if you have more stuff to ask, feel free to come, ask me. I will be happy to answer that questions. And also don't forget, I'm doing sometimes giveaways in my EU Mistel server. So if you have a chance to get something, I hope we see you there, and I hope you will win something. To ask anything I missed, please type in a comment down below what I missed, what I said something wrong, because there is more better lancers out there and they can have different opinion. But all I can say, this is the most important thing I made to make a good lancer, more than average lancer, to tank every single dungeon in this game. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I did my best for you, and see you later.